Hi, Pupils, and welcome to the channel Tanya's Polyglot. In today's lesson, we are going to learn the usage of whom or whose. If you want to know how to use them correctly, please stay.
Welcome to Language Adventure with Tanya. Imagine exploring the world through its languages. Picture yourself strolling past the Eiffel Tower, diving into the rich history of Germany, or savoring the vibrant culture of Spain. Each language opens a door to new experiences, friendships, and understanding. Whether you're mastering English, dancing to Korean rhythms, or savoring French cuisine, every word you learn is a step on this exciting journey. Let's embark on this adventure together and unlock the beauty of communication across the globe.
Let's begin with the introduction of this topic. Whose is used to ask about ownership or possession. Understand the difference between whom and whose. Practice using both in questions and sentences whom object of the verb or preposition. Then we have here some examples for you to identify them a little bit better. We have the word. What is the word? Whom, right? And the function of whom refers to the object of a verb or preposition. For example, whom did you call? Then we have the word whose. Its function is refers to possession or ownership. Whose car is parked outside? Now let's see the usage of them by separate. Whom. Whom, object of the verb or preposition. Used when the person is receiving the action. Pay attention in that part. The person is receiving the action. We have the structure. Whom plus the auxiliary verb plus the subject plus the main verb plus the preposition plus whom, subject or verb. If you see here, we have two different structures. For example, here, whom is from the beginning. And in the second one, we have the preposition first and then the whom, right? So be careful with that. We have two structures totally different. Let's see the first example. We're beginning with whom. Whom, you see, auxiliary verb in blue, did. Whom did, the subject in purple, you. See, the main verb at the party is the complement. Then we have with preposition. Then whom, then the subject, and then the verb, and the complement. To is the preposition, right? Preposition can be to, with, and so on, but we will see them in another class, don't worry. Um, to whom should I send this email? Should is also a modal verb, but we will study them later. But now I just need you to be focused on the structures and the examples, right? To whom should I send this email? Let's continue. And let's see more examples. The professor whom everyone admires is retiring next year. If you pay attention in the last part and in this part, um, I can use whom or whose with any structure that we saw previously in this YouTube channel. If you don't follow me or you don't feel confident using all these grammar structures, I recommend you to watch my videos and subscribe on this YouTube channel for you to understand of what I'm talking about. Because this is a little advanced topic. Because if you notice it, in this topic, I can say that I can use a specific grammar structure. If you see here, we have the simple past, the past progressive, and so on. For example, the professor whom everyone admires is retiring next year. If you see here, um, we have like two tenses or two times in the same sentence. It's not like you can use that only, for example, with the future or with the past. It doesn't work like that. So pay attention with this. You can use whom or whose with any grammar structure that we saw previously. Let's continue. The man with whom I worked was very professional. You see here we have the simple past, right? She's someone in whom I have complete confidence. We will see this structure have and has later. The woman whom you met yesterday is my boss. The family for whom we organized the fundraiser was very grateful. If you see here, we have like three grammar structures using whom. So it's not like you can say that only works with the simple past or the simple present. It doesn't work like that. These can be used with any grammar structure. I hope that is clear. Now let's see some examples. How you can make questions with whom, right? Because this is like when you want to express that something belongs to someone. You will use from the beginning. You will use from the beginning whom plus the auxiliary verb plus the subject plus the main verb plus the complement. For example, whom did you call yesterday? If you see, we have whom in red, the auxiliary verb did, right? In blue, that is in past. Subject you, main verb, call, complement, yesterday. Whom did you invite to the party? Now let's see. Here we have with the preposition from the beginning. Preposition plus whom plus the auxiliary verb plus the subject plus the main verb, and this is the way in which you can make very formal questions. To whom did you send the letter? With whom are you going to the event? If you see here in yellow, we have prepositions to and with. And maybe that is the only thing that changed, right, in the sentence, that this doesn't have a preposition and this has a preposition. Now we have whom plus the verb plus the subject plus the complement. Whose are these glasses? If you see here, um, whom are these glasses? We have the whom, the verb in this case are, and the subject these glasses, right? And also glasses could be the complement of the sentence. So now guys, let's see the usage of whose. Whose refers to possession, used to ask about ownership. For example, when something belongs to you, right? We have the structure whose plus noun plus the verb plus the complement. Whose bag is this? If you see here, we have whose and the noun is the bag in light blue, right? Then we have the verb, in this case, verb is the complement this. Whose bag is this? Because you remember that this expresses when something belongs to you, right? Then we have whose plus the verb plus the complement. Whose phone did you borrow? And sometimes here can be a little bit tricky because if you observe, we have here whose phone did you borrow? And if we observe a little bit better, phone is a noun and did can be an auxiliary verb and also can be a verb. Did you borrow? And borrow is also a verb. Sometimes it's not like we will have the sentences like these structures. Maybe they could change, but it's up to you or it's your homework, we can say identify what is the noun, what is the verb, what is the auxiliary verb, and so on, right? So be careful and pay attention in those details. Now let's see more examples. She's the student whose project won the prize. This is the dog whose owner lives next door. This is the artist whose work inspired the exhibition. The teacher whose class is always fun is very popular. If you see here, we don't have like order in the sentence because in the previous structures, whose was from the beginning, but in this case, sorry, is in the middle of the sentences. So, like I'd say, you should be able to identify, for example, the subject, the noun, the verb, and so on, guys. But by the time you will get used to it, don't worry. Now let's see the questions with whose. Whose plus the noun plus the verb plus the complement. Whose phone is this? If you see here, we have in red whose and the noun in blue phone, the verb be, right, is, and the complement is. Whose phone is this? Because I am asking for something that belongs to someone. Whose keys are these? Then we have another structure, whose plus the verb plus the complement. Whose is this bag? For example, if you see here, who's in red and the verb be is right, then we have the complement this bag. Whose side are you on this discussion? Like I said previously, it doesn't mean that always. The sentence will be structured as it's shown in this blackboard, we will say, or presentation, right? You should be carefully and try to identify, for example, whose, what is the verb or the auxiliary verb, and so on. And keep in mind that in one sentence, we can add more than one verb. So be careful with that. I know it's a little bit tricky because if you see here, if we try to make a logical conclusion of this sentence, we have whose from the beginning, but then we have side, and then we have the verb be, right? Are. Then we have the subject you on this discussion, the complement. So it depends on the context, but don't worry, by the time you will get used to it. So now I have here like a bonus tip, right? Note, pay attention. In informal English, who often replaces whom except after prepositions. Do you remember what are the prepositions? To, with, but we will see them more in another class. In formal context, for example, informal, who did you invite? Formal, whom did you invite? So it depends on the context, guys. But I try to give you a bonus tip, right? And I try to picture it out for you. One example, when you want to ask that something belongs to someone, right? For example, this guy, what you can see in this image, he's holding a page or a letter, right? But we will say that it's a letter. Whose letter is this? He asked to the girl, and she says it's mine. Because when something belongs to you, you quickly answer, it's mine, it belongs to me, right? So, whose letter is this? It's mine. Maybe if he were holding a cell phone, right? Whose cell phone is this? It's mine. Or it's not mine, what not belongs to you, right? But now we will make an activity time to see if you understood this topic, right? Or the usage of whom or whose, or if you could identify them, I recommend you to translate in your native language what it means the word whom and whose for you to understand a little bit better and in context. I'm the teacher, I can translate it to you, but it's your homework because I am trying to wake up like your curiosity for you to search and enrich your vocabulary and you start wondering what it means in my native language, this word, right? And in that way is how you will enrich your vocabulary and discover that maybe you have patience for learning English or any language, right? So let's make the activity time. Don't be afraid. And here we have the exercise. Complete the sentences with whom or whose. Did you invite to the wedding? It could be whose or whom. What do you think, guys? I recommend you to make a pause in this part of the video and try to think. Use your critical think and try to solve the exercise by your own. Don't don't pass this part and go to the solve part. Just make a pause and think about it. It's whom or whose. Then we have book is lying on the desk. It could be whom or whose. I am talking about possession. Then we have a preposition. To. Are you giving the letter? Car is parked in front of the house. Shall we call for help? I'm just wondering what are the answers, guys. But I want to read those comments. So if you have an idea, choose one, just one example. The others, write it in your notebook. Choose just one example and write it down below in the comments. What do you think? Whom or whose? I don't know. I'll be reading those comments. What are the answers, guys? What are the answers? I'm wondering what are the answers, guys? I don't know. Write it down below in the comments, your answers. I'll be reading those comments. And I'm like the clock, right? Tick tock, tick tock. Waiting to read your answers. And if you thought that you was alone, you was totally grown, guys. I'm here next to you to guide you in this English journey, right? So we have whom did you invite to the wedding? Why we use whom instead of whose? Because I'm talking about a person, so I use whom. Whom did you invite to the wedding? Whose book is lying on the desk? Why did I use whose instead of whom? Because whose, you remember, that express a possession when something belongs to you or to me, right? Whose book is lying on the desk? Then we have the preposition to, with whom. To whom are you giving the letter? You will give the letter to a person right now at your cell phone or to the table. That's impossible, so we use whom and also for the preposition we know that is whom, right? Then we have whose car is parked in front of the house. Whom shall we call for help? So, well done, guys. I hope that you understood a little bit better the usage of whom or whose. And if you didn't, I recommend you to rewatch my video and translate in your native language what it means the word whom or whose for you to understand better, right? But your teacher, I can translate it for you because I need you to wake up your curiosity about now new words, and in that way I will wake up your curiosity. I know, but it's my job to do it. Thank you very much, guys, to watch my videos. Don't forget to give a like and hit the bell button and subscribe.